Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalang.
Hare Krishna, welcome to our channel, Bhagavad-gita. Here it is, because we have Bhagavad-gita as it is, translation and commentary by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and my name is Labangalatika. So, we are almost all the way through chapter 10. Of course, there is still a lot of Bhagavad-gita left. Bhagavad-gita has 18 chapters all in all. And today we are reading text 39. The chapter is called The Opulence of the Absolute. So text 39. Yacchapi sarvabhutanang vidyang tad aham arjuna na tadasti vina yatsyan maya bhutang characharam. Furthermore, O Arjuna, I am the generating seed of all existence. There is no being, moving or non-moving, that can exist without me. Purport. Everything has a cause, and that cause or seed of manifestation is Krishna. Without Krishna's energy, nothing can exist. Therefore, he is called omnipotent. Without his potency, neither the movable nor the immovable can exist. Whatever existence is not founded on the energy of Krishna is called Maya, that which is not. So we're in this material world where reality still exists. These spiritual facts that we may not be able to see with our naked eye are still underlying it, and on top of it there's a layer of Maya, there's a layer of illusion, and that illusion tells me that I'm this body. It's not even something I think about. I just naturally identify, okay, I'm Swedish, I'm a woman, I'm getting on in the years. And this is not really true in the deepest sense of truth. Where we speak Sanskrit, we speak Satchitananda. Sat means true, and it also means eternal. Because if something is there now and then later is gone, it is true in a sense, but it's not deeply true. It's just like a dream. We cannot say that a dream doesn't exist. We're in it, we remember it, we react to it. And then we wake up and it kind of fades away and disappears. And then it is no more, as is existence in this material world. So the generating seed of all existence, of moving and non-moving beings, characharam, moving and non-moving. So some of us are born in bodies that move. We are human beings. We may be animals or insects, or higher we have the devas, the demigods. And then we have the plants. They don't go anywhere. And there are some mysterious manifestation where a living entity can be for some time due to activities and desires. Karma, basically, which is driven by desire. We do have our activities that we do because we want something. But behind it, the cause of all causes is always Krishna. Sometimes we see him and sometimes we don't see him. But the more we hear of him, the more we see him behind everything. And then we may come to the point with the material world where that original dormant consciousness is woken up, is coming out of that slumber. So it's not that anything really changes, because reality is eternal. The spiritual nature of us is eternal. Right now, we opted for this place where we can forget about it. And then we're covered by this illusion. But now we're coming back to Krishna, and we're seeing more and more how Krishna is actually the source of everything, the cause of all causes. I'm reading one more text, 40. Nantosti mama divyanang vibhutinang parantapa esha tu deshata prokto vibhutir vishtaro maya. O mighty conqueror of enemies, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulence. Yeah, so we may hear something of Krishna, we may find it kind of fascinating and inspiring and impressive, And then we go out in the world, and there are so many books, and there are so many movies, and there are so many heroes in this world that catch our attention. But for Krishna, it doesn't end. Any story, especially if it's a story based on suspense and action, it keeps its pace up, and it keeps our attention, and then it finishes. And then we won't pick it up again because we already know the end, and then it can't hold our attention. Krishna, though, he never ends. He continues. He has his pastimes, and some of them are dramatic, and some of them are sweet, and some of them are in his aspect as a child, and some of them are in his aspect of Vishnu, the god of all the worlds. And they are unlimited, and they are also eternal, because one pastime, it's not that, Krishna appears on this planet as a little child to his loving devotee parents, and then different things happens in his life. But since he's eternal, he will go to another universe, display the same pastimes again, not like a recording, like a movie. No, like a person who basically has the same adventures, but the details may vary, and the persons who are there may vary. So it's not just a recording. It's real, and it's alive, but it's eternal, because 5,000 years ago he was here. Now he's in some other universe, and there are so many universes that he's somewhere performing all his leelas that we sometimes translate as pastimes, and recently I heard them translated as adventures. Krishna is constantly having adventures. So they don't end. I'm reading the purport as well. As stated in the Vedic literature, although the opulences and energies of the Supreme are understood in various ways, there is no limit to such opulences. Therefore, not all the opulences and energies can be explained. Simply a few examples are being described to Arjuna to pacify his inquisitiveness. Yes, because Arjuna is not posed to write the exhaustive descriptions of Krishna into infinity. He's in the battlefield. He's just hearing the Bhagavad-gita. So Krishna does go into all the important areas. He does go into some level of detail, but everything is not in here. We can read the Srimad Bhagavatam. We will have more. And then we hear the manifestation of Srimad Bhagavatam on this planet has a certain amount of verses to it, and the Srimad Bhagavatam manifested on the heavenly planets where the devas reside is like, I don't remember numbers, but it's 10 times bigger or 100 times bigger. So there's no end to Krishna's pastimes, but one particular recording of it or narrative of it may include so much, but there is always more, because Krishna, he's continuously acting, and he continuously attracts his devotees, and he continuously expresses his personality, his characters, and so on. I will continue. Text 41. Yad yad vibhutimat sattvang shrimad urditam eva va tad eva vagacchatvang mama tejum sa sambhavam. Know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creation springs but from a spark of my splendor. This is also one of those verses that get quoted a lot, because we can read about all of this, but basically anything that is wonderful about Krishna is just a small part of it, because everything about him is wonderful. So we can have somebody maybe, I don't know, doing some sport. These are good examples, because when it comes time for these world championships or the Olympic Games, and so much focus and so much news about the different persons winning the gold medals and so on, and that's glorious for a moment, and then it's over, and that person generally doesn't ever come back, because you hit your peak. Well, a few of them have gone through a handful maybe of world championships, but generally this body comes out of childhood. No one's going to win any of the races when they're 3 months old, and some of them have the talents and the patience and the I don't know, sheer stubbornness to just exercise this body to its maximum capacity and go out there and win the races or whatever sport for a few years, then the body is going downhill and there's nothing we can do about it. So if we want to utilize the body for maximum speed or maximum strength, then there is a short scope where that is possible, and then we have to we have to leave the field for the younger competitors to come on. So Krishna is not like that. His body is not material, it never deteriorates, and he's always present in his full spiritual capacity, of which we may understand, we get a glimpse here, we get a glimpse there. So we hear about something, but it's not that, oh yes, he was the fastest runner in the year of 2020. No, he's always the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we can hear about one thing here and one thing there. But he's still God. He still has all that capacity, so there will be more pastimes and more relationships to more devotees. It never ends. So this is one of the verses that we hear it quoted sometimes. So if you like to learn verses, actually 10:41, you can learn that one as well. I'm reading text 42, which does conclude this chapter. Athava bahunaitena kingyatena tavarjuna vishtabhayam idam kritsnam ekang sena sthito jagat. But what need is there, O Arjuna, for all this detailed knowledge? With a single fragment of myself I pervade and support this entire universe. So for us it's difficult to take in the vastness of one universe. And one universe is just, there's one discussion. Krishna appeared as Lord Chaitanya 500 years ago. He wanted to give us in Kali Yuga a process for self-realization that we could actually take to, which is the Sankirtan movement, the chanting, the sharing, the meditation, the singing of Krishna's name, of God's names, all of his names, but particularly this mantra, the Hare Krishna mantra, is there. And one of the devotees approached Lord Chaitanya and he said, I can understand that all the living entities in all the universe, they are constantly taking birth, dying, accepting the reactions to their own activities in the form of karma, and there's so much suffering, and you have come to this world to deliver them all, to give them the opportunity to go back to the spiritual existence in Krishna consciousness. But some of them may not be able to or aware, so why don't we do it like that? I can take their karma, and then they can all be liberated and go back to Godhead, because that would be small price to pay, that I wouldn't have to see their suffering. And for you, it's not very significant, because this universe, it's like a mustard seed in a bucket of mustard seeds. And if you've seen mustard seeds, they're tiny. And if you have a bucket of mustard seeds, even if you're selling mustard seeds, you will have to, charge by the, gram or kilo or something. But one mustard seed wouldn't even register on the scales. So that was his argument. So therefore we can also understand, with a single fragment of myself I pervade and support this entire universe. So this universe is the biggest we can think of. We can't even really wrap our mind around the universe. But for Krishna, it's just a tiny part. Purport: the Supreme Lord is represented throughout the entire material universe by his entering into all things as the Supersoul. The Lord here tells Arjuna that there is no point in understanding how things exist in their separate opulence and grandeur. How do you say that? Grandeur? Anyway. He should know that all things are existing due to Krishna's entering them as Supersoul. From Brahma, the most gigantic entity, on down to the smallest ant, all are existing because the Lord has entered each and all and is sustaining them. There is a mission that regularly propounds that worship of any demigods will lead one to the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the supreme goal, but worship of demigods is thoroughly discouraged herein, because even the greatest demigod like Brahma and Shiva represent only part of the opulence of the Supreme Lord. He is the origin of everyone born, and no one is greater than him. He is asamardva, which means that no one is superior to him and that no one is his equal. No one is equal to him. And that is the definition of God. There are many definitions, the controller, the creator, and so on. But this definition that nobody is above him in any way, and nobody is even equal to him. And we like to think about equality as something to aspire for. And in a sense, all of us spirit souls, we're equal in the fact that we are eternal spirit souls, part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the differences we see are mostly based on our karma. So we receive different bodies with different capacities, which doesn't reflect actually on the nature of the soul. Krishna is different from us. He is the source of all of us. He's the cause of everything. And everything rests in him, and yet he's not there. He's beyond it. So to think that the demigods, well, it doesn't matter what we do. We just worship someone and that will be all right, because that will help us focus our attention and do our meditation and so on. No, that is just ignorance about the difference between Krishna and Krishna's servants, the Devas. In the Padma Purana it is said that one who considers the Supreme Lord Krishna in the same category as the demigods, be they even Brahma or Shiva, becomes at once an atheist. If, however, one thoroughly studies the different descriptions of the opulences and expansions of Krishna's energy, then one can understand without any doubt the position of Lord Shri Krishna and can fix his mind in the worship of Krishna without deviation. The Lord is all-pervading by the expansion of his partial representation, a supersoul, who enters into everything that is. Yes, we hear the supersoul enters into the heart of every living entity and follow us as we travel through the universes in different bodies, in different births, and even into each atom in the universe. Because sometimes we understand that the atoms are held together by a very strong force. But what is that force? But that force is supersoul, actually. And it's interesting because science can get a certain understanding by the research and the studying and so on. But you can't really find the soul, and you definitely can't find supersoul. So we hear from the scriptures and we understand from how it actually works in reality. If, however, one thoroughly studies the different descriptions of the opulences and expansions of Krishna's energy, then one can understand without any doubt the position of Lord Shri Krishna and can fix his mind in the worship of Krishna without deviation. The Lord is all-pervading by the expansion of his partial representation, the supersoul, who enters into everything that is. Pure devotees, therefore, concentrate their minds in Krishna consciousness in full devotional service. Therefore, they are always situated in the transcendental position. Devotional service and worship of Krishna are very clearly indicated in this chapter in verses 8 through 11. So those verses 8 through 11, they are a very beautiful meditation on Krishna and on the complete meaning of life. So, but the rest of the Bhagavad-gita is also not bad. So we're reading all of it because it's all in a context and we're getting all the angles and so on. But yes, those verses are exceptional. That is the way of pure devotional service. How one can attain the highest devotional perfection of association with the Supreme Personality of Godhead has been thoroughly explained in this chapter. Srila Baladev Vidyabhushana, the great Acharya in disciplic succession from Krishna, concludes his commentary on this chapter by saying, Yat Shakti Leshat Suryadya Bhavantyat Yugrate Jasaha Yad Angshe Nadritang Vishvang Sa Krishno Dashamerjyate. From Lord Krishna's potent energy, even the powerful sun gets its power, and by Krishna's partial expansion, the whole world is maintained. Therefore, Lord Shri Krishna is worshipable. So we reach this conclusion when we hear the Bhagavad-gita, because from just being in this world and searching for some truth, some spiritual truth, intuitively we can come to a certain level of understanding, a certain point. But if we also avail ourselves to the knowledge given by that supreme absolute truth, Krishna himself, we can gain understanding, we can gain access to that truth. And in this human form of life, we can utilize our time to go deeply into this knowledge, because actually, if we don't know who we are, then what do we know? And when we learn that who we are is a part and parcel of Krishna, and our relationship to him is actually the deepest part of our own selves, then that is the perfection of human life. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for watching. We aim for updates every Tuesday and Friday. Please come back. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down there. We also have some links and information for you. And there is, of course, the subscribe button. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
I'm a Hare Krishna, and I approve this message. Subscribe.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,